Bullet Club. For life.
What's up, Bullet Club? And well, look where we are, not even a full month and a half in to Marvel Rivals Season 2, and it's as if I were a prophet, a messiah, or someone who has quote-unquote played these games before. As it sits right now, with the new rank system, the distribution of player base falling off by 76 to 78%, depending on your outlook or when people come back to do challenges or not challenges and collect their free skins, to Necros and other major one tricks in big quality content creators and influencers within the Marvel Rival space, calling their supports morons, idiots, and that they should not exist or do not belong in hero shooters, causing a problem. And for those of you that don't know, Necros is a very highly respected, highly ranked one trick. In Overwatch, he was known as the Genji one trick, and in Marvel Rivals, he is known as the Spider-Man one trick. And at any point in any time, things do not go his way in any level of play, whether it be professional, semi-professional, or casual, or in ranked mode. He's been known to throw a fit, get upset, and take matters into his own hands with his hundreds of thousands of followers and everything else to attack certain subcultures, subclasses, and groups of people. Now, to be fair, it's his channel, it's his community, he could do what he wants. But when it comes to specifically referencing and talking about a whole entire class and group of players themselves, because you specifically aren't having a problem with them, and it's not going the way that you want, your community and your influence, which is something we've talked about multiple times, has a huge factor. And when it comes to hero shooters and even games like League of Legends and other things where you have specific DPS, AD carry, marksman, or whatever else roles, whenever they're not performing or doing their job responsible or making space, clearing path, or assisting the team as a whole, especially in objective-based games where things like KDA, final hits, kill-death ratio, whatever else, what have you, isn't the primary source and factor of what makes the game a game, what makes a team, and overall leads to victory. It helps. There's no disputing that whatsoever. But I've been in many situations in Platinum and Diamond where the lesser DPS who's 15 and 15 and 25 with assists in a tank or vanguard or a support or strategist has come up clutch, more clutch because of one thing or another, has done better than the pure DPS player who has 62 and 25. 60 kills, 2 deaths, and 25 assists. Just because we better got along as a team and as a cohesive unit, we pulled it out. Because in a game like a hero shooter or a MOBA, a multiplayer online battle arena game, it's one final fight. Who has the better strategy and a better use of equipment, items, and abilities in that moment that can make a difference and change a fight. That's why upsets, that's why clutches, that's why these kind of moments exist and make it so special in a competitive environment. That's what makes these games strive and push. Now, on the other hand, we are also facing a strategist in support strike. And again, I turn to Overwatch in the no brain, no need to aim, mercy main, and the support strike of Overwatch 1. In the long-standing abuse and problems and issues that even someone coming from the Overwatch community, and if you've known me or you watch my channel, you know I was a professional semi-pro and a coach in Overwatch. I have played these games before and I have lived through this. As a tank and a support main in Overwatch, I was the one who was always quickly replaced, handed off, or shipped to another team, or put on loan to another team because I was replaceable as a tank and a support main. This is the problem and things that we face. And with the current and modern era of content creation and influencing, the DPS characters or the marksman characters or the AD characters, they have been catered to and they have been fed these systems and the lies that they can suffer through main character syndrome, and it's never their fault. Yet, When a support main has to play DPS because we're in a lobby full of tanks and supports, we mostly understand. We're like, hey, you know what? Hey, you tried your best. Maybe you should play some Moon Knight. Maybe you should play some Punisher and I'll play Rocket. Maybe play Wanda and I'll play Doctor Strange and we can make that happen. There are things and opportunities out there for people to gather and build upon these situations and make it better. But when you get strictly DPS mains and DPS players who have a bit of influence and a bit of power, or they feel like they're the main character based off of this main character syndrome, this is the thing that happens. And I'm seeing the same exact thing that happened with Overwatch happen in Marvel Rivals. The community is split down the middle. And with Marvel Rivals losing its player base and its player count faster than Overwatch 1 did, when Overwatch 1 had more sustainability and more support and was a bought and paid for game, not free to play like Overwatch 2 is, people felt more engagement and invested in willingness and want to play. And Marvel Rivals is going down that same path. It started off with what we have now with the new skill-based matchmaking and the new season ranking point system. Overwatch 1 did the same thing. Then after much debacle, much complaint, and much issue, they flopped it to where supports and tanks get more points than DPS characters, and DPS characters had to hit a certain threshold to qualify for those extra points, and everything else of that nature. That didn't work. So their final big solution before the game ultimately died was Hero Queue and Role Queue, where if you play support or you fill for whatever your team needs, you'll get bonus SR, bonus points, and everything else down the line, and it'll all come back to you in drove. And the DPS players threw a fit because they're not valued, or they feel like their role isn't important, or they're not getting enough characterization and love and main character syndrome food items. And the tanks and the supports, all they do is bitch, moan, complain, cry, whine, and everything else, and they're the favorites, and everything else is going to happen. It took almost 1.5 to 2 years for that to happen in Overwatch. I could be wrong on the timeline. I could be wrong. It could have been sooner. It could have been later. But 1.5 feels about right from what my memory serves, because that's when I completely bowed out and stopped playing for other games. For Marvel Rivals not even to be 1 year old, it came out in December. We had Season 0, Season 1, and we're in Season 2 right now, from 1.5 to 2. In the game to already be this deep in shambles is a problem. Now, I will give some nuance and I'll pay some respect. If you are a DPS player and you are having the game of your life, you should be rewarded. That is a fact. But to discredit and devalue other roles like Vanguard and Strategist for the amount of damage blocked, kill participation, and influence and sway through buffs as a Strategist, shields as a Magneto or a Strange or an Emma, or other things that play a huge factor in the parasitic and codependency that is required in a hero shooter is just utterly sad. I can't tell you how many times as Luna Snow in Season 2 I have gotten SVP or MVP, and that is the only time and the only way I know when I'm playing support I can rank up. Because prior to that, I'm averaging anywhere from 15 to 20 points. And it's similar with League of Legends, where if I'm in a rank up situation, or I think I'm going to qualify for a rank up situation, I'm in that 1 to 5 point buffer where it's like, just give me the 5 points, give me the 1 point, just give me the rank up. And with people who have history rooted in these long games that are nearly almost 15, 20 years old at this point, and you know how the systems work, you have a bit more of a voice and a thing to say. As where Necros, yes, he has influence, he has rank, he's played Overwatch at a very high level and everything else of that nature. He doesn't have the legacy, the nuance, or the respect of someone who actually understands the overall impact and the dramatic problems and issues that come with a system like this in video games. Like I said, and I'll say it for the final time, I've played these games before. Now, let's go into the side of it with Marvel Rivals and the devs themselves. Season 2, prior to its release, many of the development team in China and the other regions, since we don't have a North American branch anymore because they fired them, have been on record stating that they truly and legitimately hate ranked mode and ranked players. There have been many interviews with that stating that they want casual, fun, creative individuals playing their video game. And for us here on this platform and on this channel and in this community, we know that just catering to the casuals does not work. Catering to the modern audience does not work. These things do not exist, and they do not prove the legitimacy or the longevity of your game. Whether it's free to play, or it's a boxed budget title for $30 to $40, or it's a big budget AA, AAA, or even quadruple A title with a $70 price tag. That does not work. 2024 was the year of exposing that system and the casual in the modern audience does not exist, and they are not spenders. And with legitimate fact, through the ESA, the Entertainment Service Association, the ESRB, and many other organizations that help regulate video games and track monetization, sales, and other aspects of the gaming and entertainment industry, it has been proven to be fact that 58 to 48% of gamers and users of video games on PC are the ones who spend in fun titles for their future. And we've seen with games that have come out recently in the same window or time frame as Marvel Rivals, such as Fragpunk, Delta Force, and other games, that if your game does not give the PC player a reason to continue to play or have a purpose or an intent that gives them an incentive to spend their hard-earned money in, say what you will about the state of America, tariff, and everything else like that, money's tight for gamers. And money's tight for Americans and the world in general. We've never had the type of income struggles and everything else in this current state that we have. Whether it be from the Biden administration, the Trump administration, however you want to put it. It's been this way for almost a decade. I'm 33, and I have 2 children. I'm married, and ever since I was 20 to present, in 13 years, I have never been more broke and more worried in my life. I've been working since I was about 14 years old. From ages 14 to about 18, money was everything. I spent $100. I felt like I had infinite money still left in my paycheck. Today I spend $100. I feel like I'm not going to have enough gas to get me through the week to take my kids to school. That's the difference. And when you look at the statistics and the facts, and the PC gamer is the one that still has somewhat of the largest sum of disposable income to spend on your game, and you don't give them a purpose, your game dies. Which is why Delta Force is going to mobile sooner than intended. Which is why Fragpunk has failed on PC and is immediately going to console and partnering with Xbox and PlayStation for perks, packs, and spending habits and behaviors. Because even though Sony and Microsoft take the 30 to 40% off of sales, these companies are comfortable and okay with taking the sales. And that's why a lot of other free-to-play or freemium titles don't exist. Couple that with the final point I'm going to make here is we call them chromas in League of Legends, which is the color changing abilities. Everybody and their mother thought that this system was going to be a free system where you click on your character and you get a color wheel or a color palette and you would be able to change the color for free. No one in their right mind thought it was going to be a predetermined set of 2 colors, mixing the purple with the blue and the blue with the purple on Luna, for example. And there'd be only 5 of them, and it was going to be $6 a pop to change those chroma skins or those chroma colors. Now, to be fair, in League of Legends, they're $3-4. Some of the more fancy ones for the legendary skins go up in prices. It makes sense. If you have a legendary $250 Faker Ahri skin and you want to change the chroma for that, while I don't agree with it, I can understand putting a $10 price tag on a chroma color change pack or something like that. It makes sense. But it's a pack of multiple color wheels. Not one set, purple to blue, blue to purple, color change. No. And also with League of Legends, you could always earn chroma packs through the Battle Pass, through ranked rewards at the end of the season or in mid-season, or in pick'ems or other ways that get you to engage and involve yourself in the game. As where Marvel Rivals is flat out saying, no, we're going to have 10 different currencies. We're going to have all of these LTM events and moments and things of that nature. And that's going to be what locks you in. Now, to be fair, I don't mind the LTMs. I like the Krakoa and the ball that's happening right now for a Mantis skin. I don't mind that because I'm naturally going to do those things anyway. But if that's your only hook and your only line of engagement to keep me interested in your game, I feel there's a huge problem. So in summary, Necros and his one-sided opinion from someone who's never touched a support in Overwatch or in Marvel Rivals because his name has weight and value and people will literally surrender their role to give him their character. To the devs saying that ranked mode doesn't matter and it isn't a priority to them, and esports and the longevity of their player base in the competitive seeded market where those are the people that are going to grind and put hundreds of thousands of hours into your game don't matter over the casual who's just willing to buy the next Gunnar skin for $50 and move on, which is becoming a huge problem. I enjoyed the attractive women in the costumes in the game, but if you're literally just going to cater to one side of the market and make every skin a G-string or a swimsuit with an upskirt view, that's not the longevity. I also want the gameplay loop and the rank loop to be of value and have purpose. To the overall cannibalization with monetization of Marvel Rivals, I don't think it has a long life standing with it. And I think the devs know that because they publicly have come out and said they've only developed and have everything set in stone for Season 4. And with the quality of content dropping with 1 or 2 maps and a character every month and everything else, that's good on par. But these limited time events like Big Head Mode and Big Head Mode Ranked Casual Mode and everything else of this nature, it feels like there's a lot missing. And for a lot of Marvel Rival players to say, hey, I'm just going to go back to Overwatch, I'm going to go back to Valorant, or I'm going to go back to League, Dota, Deadlock, or these other games, or Stadium in Overwatch 2 right now, rank mode is a lot more fun, and I have a lot more access and creativity and creatability in that game. I'm going back. Doesn't bode well for Marvel Rivals lasting past and beyond Season 4, which is at the end of the year. But that's just my thoughts. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. And as always, Kenny, take us home.
Goodbye. Mwah, and good night, bang.
I'm out, Bullet Club, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Be safe, everybody.